What's up? Good morning, guys. How we doing? Hope we're all having a tremendous Thursday morning here, but we have got work to do. Playtime is over. We are 9.5 minutes out here from the opening bell, the best time of the day. And we're ready to rock, man. As far as news today, honestly, from here on out, we're looking at basically Fed speakers only. We have 3 Fed speakers that should basically be talking right now. Yeah, I think they're talking right now. And then here at 9 o'clock Central, Bowman is speaking. And then we have another one later this evening, 4:15 Central, which is relevant to us. So, as far as scheduled business news here today, we're free to do as we please, which we like. So, a couple of thoughts here this morning. Let's hope that ATR continues doing what it has been doing. That is volatility, of course, the average true range ATR of a 5-minute bar. When that gets below 15, 10, things get really tough. Of course, this is pre-market. It's the red number on the bottom, so don't look at that yet. But once it opens up, when that gets below 15, 10, it starts to get harder and harder to do our job. Lately, we've been seeing ATRs of 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. It's been really good. So let's hope that keeps up here today. Let's see what we can bag up here today. Let's do it. What do you guys say? Good morning, guys. Blake, Will, how we doing? Roy, good to see you. Sergio, Kane, James. Good morning, guys. Roy, took my first $1,000 payout from Take Profit Trader this morning. Does that make me officially a professional trader now? Yeah, so this is actually an interesting thought because I think there's kind of 2 schools as far as what makes you a professional. Traditionally, I think the definition would probably be you make money doing what you do. You're a professional, correct? In general, in all industries. But then there's nuance to that, right? So, I would think if you play football in the Canadian Football League, you would call yourself a professional football player, would you not? Now, you're not playing in the NFL, but you are technically a professional. So let's think about this with trading for a second. First of all, we need to get out of the way because I know, like, ideally, if you're here, your goal should be to become a professional, right? Which, let's be real, is a difficult thing to do. I commonly will make the comparison. Being a professional trader is a similar mental game. Of course, this is not a physical endeavor, but it's a similar mental game as becoming a professional athlete. It's a prestigious thing to be a professional trader. But what makes you a professional? Well, in the eyes of the old-timey, boring, run by, 84-year-olds industry of finance, a professional versus a non-professional is a different kind of thing. When you sign up for a new broker and they ask if you're a professional or a non-professional, and everyone always says, hey, you have to choose non-professional. Well, they're basically asking, do you have clients? Are you operating representing a firm that has clients, something like that. They're not asking if you're a full-time day trader. That's not what they're asking. So let's throw that out the window because that's old stuff. That's boring. No one cares. In our world, what makes you a professional? Well, I would say what makes you a professional is the vast majority of months out of the year, you're making some kind of consistent income from actively trading the vast majority of days. You sit down, your daily routine is this. You sit down and you trade, and that is a big chunk of what you do, if not all of what you do. And whether you're part-time or full-time, whatever that means, very much so varying degrees of income here. I would say if you're relatively consistent, again, most months out of the year, you're making some kind of consistent money from trading, and you do so basically every day. Trade, that is, you're active. I would say you're a professional. Now, again, there's nuance. If you do trade every day for a decent chunk of time, and it's pretty much all you do, and your performance is pretty damn consistent, and, you know, you're in the top 10, 5, 1%, 0.1% of household income in the US just from you trading, obviously you're now a professional. But I think it goes beyond that. Even part-timers who are most of the time, most months out of the year consistent, I think you can reasonably say, yeah, you're a professional day trader. That's what you do. Which again is a very prestigious thing. There's just different tiers to it, right? There's the NFL, there's the Canadian League, there's arena football, right? There's a lot going on. So obviously your goal should be to get to the NFL of trading, so to speak. Nothing wrong with playing arena football for a little while, right? 340 out. Good morning, guys. How we doing? Jerry Chuck Stealth Media. What's up, brother? How we doing? Peter? Good to see you. Hey, Corey. How we doing? All right, we are 3 minutes out from the opening bell. Hey, Peter, how we doing? Sal's, good morning. All right, now remember, guys, first, at least 5, more like 10 minimum minutes after the opening bell for New York, right? You gotta let institutional orders clear. Really, really, really tough to find, well, at least for me, and I think for most people, really tough to find edge in the first 10 minutes of the day. Once those first 2 5-minute bars are locked, we finally have some kind of context to work with. Ideally, the first 3 bars. If the first 2 are just gorgeous, beautiful A+ setup, fine. But typically, you know, the first 3 5-minute bars I want to see locked in. And once that occurs, it's similar to news. It's like, okay, once we have 3 5-minute bars locked in after the bell, institutional orders are clear. We have more context on the day, and we're free to do what we please. Not to say we can't take trades after 2, but again, it's got to be pretty. Peter, neither, brother. It's code big because I am a very firm believer, and this has been a very important reminder for myself over the years. The reason my code is code big at Apex and Take Profit Trader is not for those reasons. It's because I genuinely, I think a huge, set of chains on most people who have bigger goals is you don't give yourself permission to fucking think big enough because it sounds unreasonable and you don't want to say it out loud because someone might say, hi, come on, bro, really? Is that gonna happen? Fuck them. Get them out of your life if they say like shit like that to you. No. That's not cool, right? You have to give yourself permission to think so stupid big. And you're going to be like, I can't make sense of that. I don't know how that's going to happen. Who cares? You'll figure it out. Go. Just move. Offense. Fuck defense. Offense wins. At least in this game. In business in general. Just go. Just play all offense and you'll win. Have a ridiculous goal. Keep it to yourself. We don't need outside input. They're not going to do anything for you anyway. What have they done? Give you an opinion? They've never been there. What opinion can they have, right? So you have to give yourself permission to go huge, at least in your head when you have no proof that it's even possible yet. You have to be able to convince yourself that you'll find a way and that it is possible. Because let me tell you guys something. There's a whole bunch. You know what's a really good example? Sunny Isles Beach in Florida, just north of Miami, is a really good example of this. There's a million places like this on the planet. Dubai, a million places. There's a whole bunch of Russian oligarchs, people from Argentina, who go and buy condos in Sunny Isles for, 13 million, whatever, 27 million. And they show up for a week, once every 18 months. They just park the money. You're in one of the high rises, you look around, it's like 2/3 of these fucking places are empty. They're parking spots for money because that real estate market is so good. They're like, I have to buy this spot. We'll use it, once a year for 5 days and we'll go back to Argentina or whatever the hell. Like, you'll never hear from these people. You'll never hear from these people. By the way, big old bull push. But they're doing it at a level that, like, when I was a kid, I didn't even know that this stuff existed. And I think a lot of people are like that, oh my God. Making $100,000 a month. That's not possible. I can't do that. Bro, why? Are they better than you? These people are doing 10 million a month on a slow month. Fuck's wrong with you? You think you're that inferior to these people? They're not smarter than you. This isn't a game of who's the smartest. It's who's the fastest. You move quick. You can just fail faster than everyone else, and then you find something that works, and everyone goes, oh, he must be really smart, and overnight success, got really lucky. And you're like, yeah, sure, fuck you. Everybody's so slow. Give yourself permission to think a ridiculous goal, keep it to yourself, and you'll figure it out. But at first, if you don't, this is why I'm always talking about don't box yourself in, because if you're like, that's not possible, then it's fucking never gonna happen, for sure. You'll find a way to make sure it doesn't happen just to prove yourself right, subconsciously. You're gonna feel silly for a little while. I'm telling you, it's fine. It's okay. Won't feel silly when you win. Trev, good morning. How we doing? Oh, Joe, it's beautiful down there, isn't it? Love that area. And I'll tell you something. The people, like, you go around Sunny Isles and you just, I don't know, you go out to eat, whatever. A lot of the people working there, like, they immigrated from Russia. It's really interesting. The fucking nicest people you'll ever meet. English is like a second language. It's really interesting. It's a really high density population of Russian people. I'm not exactly sure why. Love them. They're super nice, great people. It's a good experience down there. 17 seconds out. All right. So let these institutional orders clear. Let bar 2 close. We'll see what we end up with. Likely we'll need bar 3 after that bar number 1 there. Big old wick up top. All right. Three minutes. Okay, range so far on the day. I know we're only, 7 minutes in here. Range so far, what are we looking at? 65 points, 67-ish points. It's all right. Let's widen that out a little bit. There you go, Bears. Immediately fading that back. Battle here off the open, baby. Bulls, what you got? All right, 45 seconds will be past 8:40. That is the official open up time for me to do what I want, but 8:45 is more like the true official opening point. Again, the only reason I would take a trade around 8:40 is if the first two bars were extraordinarily clean. These two, of course, are not. So 20 seconds, we'll get bar number 3 opening up, and let's see what we get on bar 3. All right, Bears. John, good morning. How we doing? Gains. Wrench, been at it since 6 a.m. with evals I go harder. Do well, but toward the finish line for some reason I have the same vision, but then I lose a lot on mobile right now. But geez, yeah, you're probably assuming this isn't just an unlucky streak and this is a consistent thing for you. You're probably getting a little excitable toward the finish line. You just gotta size down. You guys know how I trade, like particularly Apex evals, right? I've gone over this a million times. I'll trade no more than like 3 at a time. Usually I just take 1 at a time. I wait for, you know, a half reasonable setup like C plus or higher. I would not take that low in a funded, obviously. But like C plus or higher, because I'm not worried about evaluation expenses. I just... Opportunity cost is a real thing, right? If you spend weeks just trading evals, it's like you could afford to just spend 10 times as much on evals and just fucking trade fundeds if you have positive expected value. If you don't, then you should take your time in evals to figure out what your edge is going to be or is. But if you do, and you're like, okay, I'm making money reasonably consistently, then don't spend a bunch of time in evals. But the way that I think it makes sense once you do have positive expected value to trade evals, first trade, well, let me put it this way. I start the eval relatively large. I might trade 1, 2, 3 minis, depending on the volatility, in like a 50K eval, let's say, and I just scalp. Okay, I take, again, like C plus or higher grade scalps, and I scalp, and then I size down as I get closer to the finish line, pass it with a reasonable high rate of success, and go on to the next. Long term, these evals, you know, don't just gamble them. I think that's fucking stupid. And not only is it stupid, but if you're gambling the evals, someday, what if Apex says, hey, we're not cool with you doing this anymore? So I choose not to do that. So I just aggressively scalp and then size down into the finish line, get them past, and get back in fundeds and get back to work. They're too... I don't want to sound like whatever, but it's like, this is a business, so let's just talk real. And if you're like, well, I can't afford that many evals, fine, tough love time. They're too cheap to spend, you know, 6 weeks in an eval. Your goal here is to make a lot of money, right? You spent $30 on the eval, big dog. Move. Number 1 priority. Figure out how to get positive expected value, whether that's trading something like RAM or something else. Take your pick. I don't care. Then move fast. If you're slow, you're gonna be pissed. Pissed. If you're getting into old age and you never really got what you wanted because you moved too fucking slow. Just move faster. All right, 60 seconds out. What are some B and C grade setups according to RAM? You guys see A and B on stream. Every once in a while, in hindsight, there might be a C, but in the moment, I probably thought it was B. We live in a fog. This is not perfect. You just gotta do the best you can. You do not have to be anywhere near perfect to make a whole bunch of money. Don't get that out of your head. That's fucking stupid. You can't just expect to win every single trade. I mean, if you actually truly believe that losing a few trades in a row makes you a bad trader, you are not cut out for this industry. You don't have the guts to be a trader, especially a big one. If you can't stomach that, big dog, you can't. This isn't for you. All right, 4 minutes, 15 seconds out. But I would say like a nice A setup is a super clean continuation setup according to RAM. A super clean reversal setup, 3 growing consecutive bodies reversing according to RAM with room to the upside, like no 20 EMA, not really a 50% retracement point in sight. A B setup is the same, but maybe, you know, the middle bar is a doji or a smaller body, or the signal bar is shrinking a little bit, or a little bit outsized, right? That's more like a B setup. C setups, you're looking more on like, maybe like buying something like here. C setup, maybe like buying this close, right? Probably a C setup. You get a doji back here. So I'm sorry, wick back here in a clear soft bull channel. I'd call that probably a C, buying the close here. Now I wouldn't sell this because you're in a channel, right? But buying this close here, there's no number on it. That's like a C. Another C setup would be just sideways trading range. Selling bull closes near the high, buying bear closes near the bottom. You know, I'll do that on stream every once in a while, but, you know, depending on the context, it's probably B minus, C plus. Really clean, maybe B. Really sloppy, like C minus, D plus, which I wouldn't take. All right, 240 out here until we get to close. This 5 minute, really nothing yet here, of course. As soon as we get something, we're slapping that guy on. All right, back and forth, baby. Come on, someone. Do something definitive here. Let's do it. Full-blown range on the day here, about 90 points. If you are trading RAM, you better not be trading this garbage. Tell you that right now, there is nothing there. But let's see what we get here on bar 5. Looking a little better already. Let's see if the bears can take this baby lower. $437 out. Oh, you bears! All right, we're about halfway through this 5-minute bar. Yeah, I mean, this little barcoding, this stuff off the open, it never lasts. It never lasts. So we just gotta let it do its thing, figure it out, and go. Doesn't mean it's gonna enter a trend, but this kind of stuff, this is unsustainable. Same way in an incredibly aggressive push where every single bull bar is growing, eventually reaches a climax. Kind of same thing here. Eventually one side gives up and you start getting a little softer or a little bit stronger, which either widens things out into usually a channel, soft channel, or a trend that then turns into a trading range. All right, there's the close of 5. Let's see what we get on 6. Peter, what's up, brother? How we doing? All right, 415, market ranging hard. Hard. This is gonna clean up. Just gotta let it do its thing. Oh, big heads up. Big heads up. We have no idea what's coming next, just so you know. But if you want to play it safe, 80% off Apex, which is also, you can pass it in 1 day. 80% off ends today with code BIG over at Apex. So if you want to stock up a bit, I'd hit that now. If you want to gamble and see if a better deal comes along, you can gamble. I guess. They're coming, Joe. The straight to funded accounts at Apex are coming. No word yet, but I'm told they're coming. $60 seconds. Thomas, which one is better, Apex or Take Profit Trader? So they're different tools for different use cases. Here's my thought on the timeline between Apex and Take Profit Trader, which right now they're my two favorite. By a mile. That could change in the future. If it does, I'll let you know. Right now, Apex and Take Profit Trader are by far my two favorites. Here's the way I think about it if you're just getting started, or if you're intermediate or advanced, whatever. If you do not have confidence that you have statistical edge or a positive expected value yet, save the money, buy a single Apex evaluation, just a little guy, trade 1 micro, and try to get your data cleaned up. Try to make your entries look good. Make sure you have your rules in place, whether it's RAM or something else, whatever. Just make consistent decisions. Make sure you have some sort of positive expected value. Once you do, then if your goal is like, okay, I want to try to bootstrap going full time, then I would go to Take Profit Trader because they offer daily payouts. Okay, Apex, they pay, but you got to trade for, 8 days. Once you're funded, then you have to request, get approved, wait for the payout to hit. Take Profit, you get the money a lot faster, which is important if you're trying to bootstrap going full time because you need money hitting the bank as often as possible, right? So if that's the case for you, Take Profit Trader, once you have positive expected value, is by far the best option. Then you're like, okay, cool. Take Profit Trader is going well. Let's scale this thing horizontally. Then you got to hit both, because the truth is, when it's time to make the numbers bigger, Apex wins by a mile, because you can go 20 accounts. If you blow one, whatever, you can get it funded right away. And you can just hold, 5, 10, 15, 20 accounts consistently at Apex. So Apex is for day one, trying to find the edge, and then making the numbers look big. Take Profit Trader, I think, is sandwiched in the middle to bootstrap going full time, get money coming in often and quickly. But long term, all of you should look at the goal as, well, I need to be doing both. I need to have take profit accounts and I need to have Apex accounts at the same time. That's obviously the goal, but those are my thoughts on the process of getting to that goal. So take your pick. All right, 3 minutes out here, whole bunch of back and forth inside closes. This is gonna clean up, let's just give it time. Yeah, Joe. You know, 80% off. I mean, 90% off, but that doesn't come that often at Apex. 80% off, 25K eval. I gotta tell you, one of the cheapest ways in this entire industry to figure out how to have positive expected value for you. One of the cheapest ways to do it. Just get a 25K, or if you're like, I want a little more room, get a 50K eval at Apex. When it's 80% off, 70% off, 90% off, whatever. It's all cheap, right, in comparison. Figure out your edge, and then scale. No one does that because there's ego involved. You want to win, just leave your ego at the door. The guys trading prop, the people in general trading prop who have these big inflated egos, they're like, I have to trade 10 minis per account. It's like, okay. And then they come back in, 14 months and they have $85,000 of expenses and 0 payouts. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. And they're like, what happened? This is a scam. It's like, no, your ego's too big to win. Size down. Scale horizontally. Trade a reasonable price action system. You do those things, a couple of weeks, your trading can be completely different. No bullshit. A few weeks. You could be taking payouts in a few weeks. But most of you won't do it because you're like, I gotta trade big. Gotta trade big. It's like, all right, doesn't matter if you trade big, you never take payouts. Or if you just lose, consistently. Losing one trade is no big deal, but when you're trading too big in prop, losing one trade is a really big deal because it eats up your entire drawdown. That's a problem. Inside close on bar 7. Bar 7 has been our golden boy for the past couple of days, and not today. Not today. All right, halfway through bar 8 here. Let's see if we get something other than an outside. I'm sorry, something other than an inside close. Meaning, let's see if we get some kind of outside close. That would be helpful here. All right, 60 seconds here. Big old doji as we sit right now. This is kind of crazy, huh? We haven't had an open like this in a little while. Inside close there. All right, bar number 9. Let's see. ATR here 34. Not bad. Not bad. We just need the price action to not be all wicks. ATR is average true range. It's that red number, bottom right of your screen currently. What that means is, for all you guys, so you know moving forward, it's the average true range. So it's the average range in points of a single 5-minute bar based on averaging, right, the last 10 5-minute bars. So all it is a heads-up data display telling us what's volatility like. That's it. All right, Bears, here we go. Let's see what we got. There we go, Bears. Halfway through this 5-minute bar. Come on now, Bears. Hold that baby. Close that baby beneath 5. If it does, I will likely, it depends on how this closes. We may have to see one more body. Because the risk of range here is really high. Really high. That bull's just take it right back up into the trading range. Let's see. All right, 60 seconds here. Let's see if the Bears can get that done. Ten seconds here. Bulls. Yep, look at that. Risk of the range, very high, right? Here we are, right back into the trading range. Inside close. We'll go next bar. Let's see what bar 10 brings. I gotta tell you, most people, not everybody, most people trading this little trading range today, they're getting killed. They're getting killed. All right, Bulls, what you got? All right, halfway through this 5-minute bar. 2.5 minutes out here, bar 10. You know how Warren Buffett always said, the market is a vehicle for transferring funds from the impatient to the patient? Well, he meant it in a different way. That's very true here in active trading. You see this? A whole bunch of people out there are really excitable. They have poor emotional control, similar to a child. And they're sitting here, they're like, I should buy this because it's going higher. There's no setup there, big dog. There's nothing there. 90 seconds out here. As soon as we get one, again, the beauty of this is we're really never more than a few minutes out from taking a trade. So it keeps us locked in here. But when the market's doing this, you want to not perform well? Trade, 6, 7, 8. Sell the close of 9. Buy the close of 5. That's what you would do if you don't want to do well. 60 seconds here on bar 10. Let's see what we get. Well, let's hop around a little bit, huh? Here's what a 1 minute's looking like. Kind of wiki on a 1 too, huh? 2 minute. Little wiki on a 2. Just a brutal trading range. But really no improvements over the 5 over there. Alright, we'll set on the 5 here. All right, here comes bar number 11. Bar 10 closing outside of bar 9, but still inside of the trading range, basically at the 50% point, right around that 20 EMA. Now there's chicken or the egg kind of deal. Here, the range comes first. The 20 EMA just is where it is because of the range, so it doesn't mean anything. Kenji, been debating on switching from Forex to futures. I don't know yet. So far, I'm doing horrible on Forex markets. Tips would be great. Kenji, I've laid out a tier system of what I think are the best to worst trading vehicles especially for like a retail trader to make a living, and ideally more than a living, but a living at minimum. And my tier system is as follows. The absolute best active trading vehicles. I think the one with the most balance and the highest ceiling. Really pay attention to what I'm saying. There's nuance here. The most balance, the most consistent results for a beginner, and the highest ceiling, meaning it's the deepest market, is futures. The big names in futures. NQ, ES, gold, oil, the boring stuff. Okay? Now, where can you find the absolute most actual edge in markets? In my opinion, the most edge is found in in-play, small-cap momentum stocks, often pre-market. Okay? Really great place to trade for the newer trader, extraordinarily risky because they're not fast enough. They can't make quick enough discretionary decisions. They don't really know what they're looking at. They are the prey in that pool. But if you can be a predator in that pool, you can get a lot of edge. Now, that comes with a slightly lower ceiling. You can still make a whole bunch of money, but there's a lower ceiling. So if you plan to grow really, really big long term in the next decades, futures is going to have a higher ceiling because the market's deeper. You can get a whole bunch of contracts, basically as many as you want, and the market will just gobble it up. It's very, very deep. Okay? Now the worst, I think, trading vehicles for all reasons. This goes for spreads, commissions and fees, broker reliability, manipulation. The worst are crypto and Forex. The worst. Forex is heavily manipulated. They are not regulated. Oh, by the way, another huge benefit of futures is the market is so stupid regulated. The futures market, it's so regulated, which is a good thing. Okay. And futures were designed specifically for active trading and hedging. That's it. That's why they exist. Active trading and hedging. Okay. So that's a really cool thing. It's a tremendously efficient trading product. They're great. Forex, the brokers, they're not really regulated. A lot of them are offshore. They're giving you whatever price they want, basically. It doesn't even have to be at like the market price. Crypto is just a disaster because the fees and spreads will kill you. You know, I think there is edge to be had maybe in some of like the dog shit coins that suck, that everyone trading them has no idea what they're doing. So maybe you can find enough edge to make up for the commissions and fees, but I think it's kind of hard to do so because there's also a lot of manipulation going on. If you want to focus your energy on what I think is the best for active trading, futures, and then if you start getting more experienced, you're like, I want to trade more pre-market too, but I like the New York session for futures, then you can launch into small cap momentum stocks using a fast broker. Once you have more experience, the ceiling is lower, but the edge can be greater, okay? Because they're less efficiently priced at that very moment that they're in play. Inside close on 21, big old wick. Now, another thing I need to mention here. This is what originally, the first thing ever that let me go full-time trading was net sell option strategies. So you trade small, you trade often, and you trade net sell. Net sell doesn't mean always position short, by the way. I mean net sell options strategies. Simple strategies, simple spreads, stuff in that world, because in the options world, there is built-in edge on purpose if you are on the net sell side. You're an options seller. You are not an options buyer. Why is there built-in edge for the seller? You're like, that's rigged. That's bullshit. No, you don't understand the product, right? There has to be built-in edge for the seller. Otherwise, why in the fuck would I take on that risk of selling you the option if there's potential for the thing to 500x and me have to take that hit? Why would I do that? You're taking negative expected value on average in exchange when you're buying them, in exchange for massive, ridiculous access to leverage. That's the deal. So if you say options are rigged, no, you are ignorant. You don't know what they are. You're playing the game. You're an adult, okay? You're buying securities on the greatest playing field in the world and you don't even know why they exist. They exist because there's a market there. There are people willing to sell you ridiculous leverage in exchange for positive expected value on average. So I prefer very much so to take the net sell side of options somewhere between 30, well, let's say this, 14 and 45 days out. Really 14 and 60 days out is kind of the sweet spot. The sweet spot really is like 30 to 45 days out. And it takes 5 minutes a day to manage. Really good way to trade, but when IV dries up, the income dries up a little bit with it. When IV cranks, the income can kind of crank with it. Good way to trade, but it's not as active. You're not really like active trading. It's more just active managing for 5, 10, 15 minutes a day. I know that that's really over a lot of people's heads, but, you know, dive in. It's not, once you learn the Greeks, it's not that big of a deal. And then spend, I think, most of your time and energy working on your active trading, which is kind of the income driver. The options, they don't take long enough each day to manage for it to be the real, like, big income driver. Gains, I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of people that make money in crypto. Good for them. That's great. I don't think the edge is going to last. I look at it and I say, no one here knows what they're doing. The people making consistent money are playing the game, and I don't know if that's a game that I would want to be involved in. Kind of a weird game, right? Now again, you can trade, if you want to like trade the shit coins, there is edge there that you can find. Why? Because they're inefficiently priced. That's very basic, but the spreads, the manipulation, and the fees make it tough. Not to mention, even if you wanted to trade crypto actively, you have to jump through hoops because everything's so regulated if you live in the States. There's not like a great option as far as brokers that are really fast, have decent fees, low fees, low commissions, good spreads, good access to markets that you can trust, is regulated by a US entity. Doesn't really exist very well in the crypto space. Of course you can make money in crypto, it's a market. I just don't think it's, you know, if we're ranking best to worst, I think it's one of the worst. All right, 27 seconds out. Big ol' inside close. Now, you know when crypto would actually be a really one of the best trading opportunities ever? I'm waiting to see if this happens. Crypto would be a monster for people like us if we had a super high quality regulated broker, like the equivalent of like Centerpoint or Lightspeed or something for crypto specifically, regulated in the States. The commissions were reasonable, the spreads tightened up, they had good access to shitcoins, the volume was high. It would be like us entering that world with those tools, we would be sharks in a little lake filled with tiny little fish that don't move. That's like what that equivalent would be. But right now there's too much friction in the crypto space. Way too much friction. Spreads suck. Fees and commissions suck. The broker options suck. Everything's slow. You know, the big rage about crypto is like, oh, it's decentralized. It's more convenient. I don't know where you find more convenience there. Super inconvenient, actually. Slow as fuck. Slower than the US banking system, which is already ridiculously slow. Insane. Crypto has so much potential and it not being realized, at least yet. All right, so we're on bar 13. Giant, wicky, small, bare body on that last bar. Yeah, you know, crypto, I don't want to keep talking about this, but crypto, it pisses me off because it's like there's so much potential here, and these really would be tremendous trading opportunities if we just had good access to good tools, and we don't. We don't. The tools are awful. It's insane to me that you buy a certain amount of like Bitcoin on Coinbase, you can't do anything with it for days. Days. It's like, well, this ruins the entire point of even using this. This is so inconvenient. All it does is tie up my liquidity. Now, if your strategy, again, if you're like, I see a different use case for Bitcoin long term, I'm going to buy and hold. Dog, I hope you get rich as a motherfucker. I really do. I'm just saying, the inconvenience of it right now is just, oh God. It's awful. 60 seconds. All right, I'll tell you what, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Quick break. Let's see if this quick break thing works for us here today. This market's moving while I'm gone. Be right back. All right, welcome back. And it happens again. So let's watch bar 16 here and see if we get a nice setup here. This bar is relatively outsized, 15. That right there is one of the biggest bars of the day. So we watch 16, and if 16's nice and clean, then I'll slap that guy on. Sometimes you just gotta pull that trick out of the book, huh? There was no trade that I missed anyway. 15 was not necessarily a setup bar. It was very outsized. And on the rollover, not sure it would have even gotten a fill. All right, halfway through here, this 5-minute bar. Let's see if the Bears try taking this baby right back. All right, 40 seconds out here. Let's see what 16 here gives us. Jim, I've got a serious problem moving my stop loss. Someone needs to smash my fingers. No, Jim. You need to think about something. What do you care about more? Proving to yourself that you were right now? More like your ego. That you were right about this one specific trade? Do you care more about that, or do you care more about providing for those who rely on you? What do you care about more, genuinely? Because right now, you care more about your ego. Straight up. All right, 4 minutes out here. Bears taking it right back in. All right, let's see what these Bears got, huh? We might have, maybe, we might have something here. Maybe, let's see. All right, so a couple of things to think about here. We spent the whole day so far, until recently, in this guy, correct? If this ends up being a clean bear body, that's 2 consecutive bear bodies pulling in, making a test of the previous high region of the range, which I don't care that much about. Also the 20 EMA, which in this context, we've been testing it all day long. I also do not care that much about. So if the Bears are going to try to take it back into the range, assuming they get a nice clean close in the next minute 35, which is a big assumption, meaning they close it like down here. If I were to put out a stop limit sell, get short, I'm betting that the Bears take it right back into the trading range, if not toward the low of 9. Now, the risk here, because there's always 2 sides of a trade, and every new trader, their ego is so massive that they think they're just right every time. The risk here is, well, not like that, really. More like, yeah, kind of like that. The risk here is that if you get short, if I get short right here, the risk is that this just turns into a moderate bull channel. And this ends up just being a pullback in a bigger bull channel. But there's always 2 sides to every trade, so let's just see how this closes up. That will tell us everything we need to know as far as do we need to do something or not. Big ol' bull bounce. So tiny bear body on 17. All right, Bears, what you got? 325 out here. All right, Bears, can you clean up what you couldn't on 17? Testing the 20 EMA, which has been tested all day long. Again, chicken and the egg kind of thing. I don't think it's all that relevant here today, but let's see. Not all that relevant ever. All it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we toss it out, but it is the least important thing on the screen. Minute 25 here. Come on, Bears. Come on, Bears. Close that up nice and low. 19 might be our signal body here. Let's see. Here's the close of 18 and into the open of 19. Let's see if 19 can give us a half moderate-sized bear body closing down near its low. Maybe somewhere like beneath the low of 13. That would be beautiful. See if they can. Come on, Bears. Take 19 down through. Yeah, guys, the numbers here, this is the opening candle, so it's bar 1 of the New York session. All it does is count the bars, so, because this is how we talk around here. Okay, someone says, hey, I bought the close of 13, got out on 15. Did I get lucky or was that, right, according to RAM? Pumpkin says, Nico, just curious. Did bar 15 not meet your criteria of going long? 15 was a little big. Look at the range here. The range on it was 55, 56 points. 15 was the most reasonable bar so far of the day, but you put on a stop limit buy above it, it would have been up in the air whether or not you got filled within 15 seconds. I would not have given that 30. 15 absolute max. A little bit of a wick, outsized body, kind of a weird middle bar. That's, a B, B minus setup at best. But today has been such a, C minus day, so far at least. Don't count it out. But so far at least, that is, believe it or not, the most reasonable bar of the day, but still not all that great on 15. All right, 30 seconds out. Well, I guess let's get ready. I don't want to miss anything here today, but this has a lot of work to do. So, 20 seconds out. I will go ahead and get the copy trader engaged, just in case the bears dump this baby off and close it down here in the next 10 seconds. In which case, I'll have to quickly get out a stop limit sell and plop it. We're not going to get it, are we? Garbage. Nothing there. 19 closes as an inside bar. All right, bar 20. Let's see what bar 20 has got. There we go, 20. There you go, 20. Let's do it to him. 20 is the best look of the day so far. Now, the question is, can the Bears keep it that way for the next 3 minutes, 40 seconds, or even improve the bar? Let's see. Good. Lot of work to maintain now, Bears. No side has been able to maintain into a nice close basically all day. Bears, let's not grow that thing too much. Let's just give us a nice close near the low of 20 here. Well, I gotta tell you, whether or not we get it on this bar, things are cleaning up a lot. I don't want to speak too soon, but things are cleaning up here. We're gonna get something shortly. Jacob says the bulls are strong. We're not going lower today. The market's been punished hard enough with a 1,000-point drop last week. Maybe. Maybe. But Jacob, I'll tell you what, as an active trader, that mindset's gotten me in trouble many times. I don't care what the market does. All I want is good volatility, nice clean price action, and as many RAM setups as possible. I don't care if it's upside. I don't care if it's downside. I really do not care. If you think less about that kind of thing, you'll be, I think, less confused. You'll see more clarity. You'll be less stressed out, and you'll probably make more money. Now, again, maybe the market pushes higher. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I think as an active trader, I prefer not to think that hard about that kind of stuff. It's just not relevant enough to be top of mind for intraday stuff. The market can always keep pushing, man. It always can. Don't learn that lesson the hard way. All right, bar 21 here. Let's see. Let's see, bulls. What we got? Assess, why not long on a break of bar 20? If you wanted to, you could. Inside close. First bull body, inside close, just barely. After a sloppy 4 bear bar sequence. That's about C- for me at best. All right, 3.5 minutes out. I do want to see, can the bulls clean that up? Clean up bar 20 with bar 21 closing nice and strong. Man, if bar 21 closed above 18. In that case, you bet your ass. I've got a stop limit buy for the bulls if that occurs. A lot of work to do, though, bulls. Let's see if they got it. 3 minutes. All right, Bulls, come on now. Let's make 21 the bar. Let's do it. All right, minute 20 out. Come on, Bulls. You got some backbone or what? What's up? Let's do it. Yeah, AK, I count the previous wicks. Yep. There's a little bit of nuance, but as a general rule of thumb, yeah, I'm looking at wicks too. On previous bars, though. The current bar, I'm looking at the actual close. All right, 15 seconds. Oh, Bulls. Man, everyone's posted up in the corner today. No one. Bulls, no Bears. Almost no backbone here today. Now this is going to change. Big old doji, tiny bear body. There on bar 21. Well, let's see if 22's got something for us. Four minutes out here on bar 22. All right, halfway through this 5-minute bar. Yeah, I mean, 18 had potential, failed. 19 had potential, nothing. 20 had potential, failed, reversed. Inside close on the bull body. 21 had potential to be a nice big bull body, closing above the wick high of 18. Failed, closed as a tiny little bear body doji. I mean, you guys, you know, I know, I get it. I get it. Days like this, you're like, dude, I need to make money. I have to make money. Market doesn't care, big dog. Market doesn't care that rent's due. Only you do. If it's not there, it's not there. If there's no positive expected value, you can't take trades. Now, on a really active day, which, you know, obviously today could still turn into, I don't like to ever count out days, because sometimes days start off really ugly and turn into monsters. It happens. But, you know, if there's no positive expected value, what are you going to do? You going to sit there and trade and lose? That's not good business, you know? But I do think you should stay here and work for your allotted window each day. Because again, weird days can turn into monsters, and seemingly great days can turn into weird days. So sit here and do your job. Your job is to watch, and when something pops up, put it on. Whether that's 12 times in one day, or, you know, every once in a while you get a no-trade day. That's fine too. Cody says, Nico, what are the most reliable trades to build an account without taking too many steps back? I mean, Cody, I get what you're asking, but to be fair, you're asking, hey, how do I build muscle without training hard? How do I build muscle without training at all? I don't want to train too hard. How do I get, you know? Come on. You know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be little steps back. Medium steps back. Every once in a while, you have a big step back. Whether it's a losing streak just statistically, or a glitch, or something happens, you know, but you guys know that this is not complicated. I like RAM. I trade RAM. RAM works for me. That's the answer for me. I can only tell you my truth. What works for me, I like trading RAM. Treats me well. Keeps me not stressed out. Keeps my decision making very easy and gives me relatively consistent results. Pete, yeah, listen, guys, RAM is everything that I do all the time. Everything I discuss, I don't want to say everything, but pretty much everything I discuss is RAM-based. It's the RAM, I'm sorry, the RAM. It's the wrench action method. What you see me do every day. Halfway through this 5-minute bar. All right, 23, what you got for us? All right. Minute 22 out. All right, Bears. Do we have some backbone, maybe? Good. This is a kind of an early bar. Let's see how this closes up. Let's see if 23 can hold. Good work so far, Bears. Please don't disappoint me. I've been disappointed a lot today with these last-second little insecurity adjustments. Hold that baby downside, Bears. Good, give us that nice close. 23, lock up. Oh, beautiful 23. All right, 24, what you got for us? This could be my bar. Gotta see a nice, clean, bare body closing near its low. And all of a sudden, we are finally breaking the ice, baby. Let's see what we get. Come on, Bears, don't disappoint. I would love to stop hunt 9. Oof. I would love to stop hunt 9. Beautiful, Bears. Keep that moving. Keep that moving. Don't want to see that grow too much more, but I like that. I do not like that wick, Bears. Hold your shit now here on 24. 3.5 minutes out. Lots of time for the Bulls to tear this apart. All right, Bears, keep that there, keep that there, keep that there. Like that so far. All right, halfway through here. That is fine, Bears. Now, that range is not so ridiculous compared to that last bar on 23. And plus, since I am looking for a stop hunt below 9, I'm okay with that. But Bears, please don't grow that much more. Just chill out. Bears, cool down. Where was this all day? Oh, you Bears. They're gonna steal my stop hunt right out from under my nose. All right, minute 35 out. That bar so far is 70 points. That is the second largest bar of the day. Ugh. You fucking Bears. All of a sudden we got a bunch of confidence now, is that it? So let me just talk through, because I know some of you guys are like, why, still take it, still take it. Okay, let me explain why I can't still take it. Let me explain, because this will help you a lot. As this bar gets to 70 points in size, my stop hunt is the stops from all these fucking bulls, all these loser bulls who put their stops right below 9. I want to use their stops as liquidity. Right below 9, we have what? An attempted breakout of the day's range, and we have 25,000, which is an S tier level. Really, the more important thing is the attempted breakout of the outside range. Is it really reasonable to expect the break in 9 to, on average, more often than not, push another 60, 70 points after the push through 9? No, this has been a range for a lot of the day. Look, this breakout fails. This breakout, pretty high probability that if we do break out, it eventually fails, comes right back into the range. So what does that mean? It means I need more room down before the stop hunt of 9 so I can take profit on the break of 9 and actually, you know, manage my risk reasonably well, like an adult. Anyway, too big of a wick anyway, so nothing there on 24. Let's see what 25's got, since obviously the bar is, you know, smaller. Let's see how we close up. We could still squeeze something out here, now that the bar is, again, much smaller than 24. Which resets what we can make logical sense of. So let's see, if we thread the needle, we'll still put something back on. So the trade is not off the table entirely yet, but let's see what we get. Oh, there's the break of the stops. And there you go, there's that stop push, good for 10 points through. Those stop hunts keep the bills paid when you get good RAM setups coming into them. That was not a good RAM setup coming into it, so that's all right. We'll let that break and see what 25 continues to do here. And we got to see how it acts after the break of those stops at 9, and here on the test of 25. Let's see. All right, so on 25 here, very quickly we broke through 9, took out the stops. Now the bulls are trying to bounce it back up off 25,000, right? If the bears can still, during the, you know, I don't know, 4.5, 5 minutes after the push through 9 and the test down toward 25, if the bears can still step in after the bulls trying to bounce it back up and take us back down toward 25, if not just below, and close a clean third consecutive bear body, all of a sudden the trade is back on the table for me. But if the bar gets really outsized, the risk of the range coming back into play is just too high. But if the bar stays moderate and the bears can clean it up intra-bar, meaning, you know, the 2, 3, 4 minutes inside of this bar, the bulls try to pop it back up, take it back up into the range. If the bears come back in, take control, give us a nice clean close down toward 25, if not below on this bear body, all of a sudden it's back on the table. But you know the bulls are going to try to bounce it back up into the trading range because that's what's been happening all day. That is the context of the day. So we got to see here. Context always comes first. All right, 90 seconds here. Bull's still trying to hold that baby up. Well, we better get to the execution screen just in case, right? Just in case, but you see the Bulls taking it right back into the trading range, which is context winning. Let's see if the Bears can actually fix that. Bulls taking it right back up. Not unexpected. When the context is range, by the way, this was the entire topic of the first training inside of the tomb. Context comes before setup, which everybody gets wrong. I genuinely think this is why like a third of the industry, if not half the industry, is just fucking losing all the time, because they put setup over context, because setup is easy. Setup makes for a good YouTube video. Right. Right, so we can watch YouTube and say, ooh, I get to trade this setup now and make a living. I'm going to be a day trader. And then you just get fucking run over. And you say, this is a scam. No, you just ignore what's important. Context is number one. The context right now is today is a big old trading range. So let's see what bar 26 brings, baby. 450 out. Okay, ATR here now on the 5-minute chart is 43.8, which is very good to see. 4 minutes out here on 26. You like to see that good ATR. It's just you need two things. Well, you need three things. You need context, you need price action, and you need some good, decent volatility to justify putting the risk on, justify any momentum on continuation trades that you might find. ATR of 43, boom, checks out, very good. Context, well, we kind of know the context. Range makes our life a little more complicated, but doesn't mean we can't take lots of trades. We've done it many times. And price action is what we need to work on here today. Let's get our last tier here. Our last pillar cleaned up. Price action. We can break the ice, dude. This is crazy today. How are you guys doing? Are you guys trading today? I know a lot of you guys so far are having a no-trade day. Those of you guys who have been hitting it, don't be shy. Don't be shy. I know you like to hide if you're losing. Feel free to share. James, 1K today. Mark, Michael getting smoked. It's all right. It's all right. See if you did something wrong. Hey, did I miss the context? Were my entries subpar? Guys, listen, the problem is the new traders, they don't listen, which is the problem. Which is why they stay losing as new traders. But here's the reality. Let's say you took 3 trades today and you lost all 3, and you're like, I fucking suck at this. Well, no. I mean, maybe, but no. First, you have to see, okay, did I kind of understand the context of the day, range or trend? I think I was pretty spot on. Okay, how were your entries? Were they inferior? Were they subpar? Or were they actually pretty good entries? They were actually pretty good entries? Good. Was your position sizing reasonable for the size of risk you had to give your entries? Yeah, it was reasonable. All 3, they just didn't work. You did your job. Listen, with every trade, there's a certain probability that it'll work within reason, and there's a certain probability that it won't work within reason. This is a two-sided market. Grow the fuck up and understand that. Now, if you lose 3 in a row, does that mean you suck? Does that mean you're a garbage trader? You're not cut out for this? Well, if you have positive expected value, tell me this. How often does the casino lose 3 hands of blackjack in a row to the player. Meaning, how often, when you go to a casino, if you do you win 3 hands of blackjack in a row? Happens pretty fucking often, right? Does that mean you expect to make money long term playing blackjack at the casino? Of course not, you weirdo. No. The casino doesn't care if you win 7 in a row. They're like, hope you guys are having a good time. Hey, can we get you anything? They just want to keep you playing. Right? All right, 20 seconds out here on 26. Let's see what we get. Probably going to get an inside close here. Let's see. Yet new traders do this all the time. They have negative expected value. They win 2 trades in a row. They're the player at the blackjack table, and they think they're the shit. They're like, oh, I'm a trader now. It's like, okay, maybe. The casino loses 6 in a row. They don't even break a sweat. They do not care. Because they know that the more hands get played, the more trades get executed, that they will make money. The sooner you internalize this, the sooner you can actually start winning. Consistently. Not 2 trades. Consistently. Alright, 4.5 minutes out here. Let's see what we get out of 27 here, man. Let's see. Ninja, pass my Take Profit Trader eval today. Ninja, you are in to Take Profit Trader Pro territory, where you can get daily payouts. Very good work. Very good work. That's very exciting. ABB, good to see you. What's going on? All right, 220 out here. Okay, minute 45 out. This bar growing. But 27 is also looking like one of the cleanest bars of the day, but it is sizable. The previous bar, it is 2 consecutive bare bodies, but that previous bar is small, which lowers the grading scale a little bit for me. But let's see what the size ends up like here. Also you gotta know there is of course still that risk of bouncing right back up into the trading range. There's always opposite side risk to the trade. So what we should do here, what I should do here, is just size things down a little in case we have to get ready. And let's just be ready here, just in case. Of course, this is the second push downside. So let's see. I don't want to miss anything today. Let's just be ready. 20 seconds out. Copy trader. Engaged. Need to see the bears take this lower. Give us a nice, clean close. Very much so near the low of this bar. Can they do it? If they can, I'll have to be quick. No, they cannot. Big old wick there on 27. Nothing. Next bar here. Let's see what 28 brings. All right, 28 could be a nice little trade for us. Let's see here. Looking very nice here so far, 28. Let's see what you got. Halfway through this 5-minute bar. All right, 28. Come on now. Give us a nice, clean, low bear close. Love to see that. Bears! Don't let the bulls bully you around like this. Come on now. Take this baby low. Give us a nice clean bear close near the low of this bar, obviously well beneath the wick low of 27. And let's see what we get. Beautiful. Keep that up, Bears. All right, what do you guys think? We're gonna get something here? About time, huh? Let's see. $22 seconds out. Copy trader. Engaged. And let's see. Got us to the bears. Give us a nice clean close near the low here of bar 28. And I will get a stop limit sell ready. Come on, bears. Come on, bears. That's reasonable. I'll give that 15 seconds. Outside close beneath the wick low of 27, but decent sized little wick. So 15 seconds max is what this gets. I want quick resolution. And if we don't get a fill, then it's no fill, no trade. No fill, no trade. Next bar. All right, 3.5 minutes out here on 29. All right, minute 38 left here on bar 29. So far, rather indecisive bar. Kind of right around 25K. All right, 23 seconds here. Let's see if we get a big old inside close here out of the bulls. Ten seconds. Good to have you, Ed. All right, 4 minutes out here on bar 30. All right, I'll be right back. Couple of minutes. Refill. Be right back. Hopefully this thing dumps 200 points while I'm gone. All right, welcome back. What has 31 got for us here? Big wick on bar 30, but if 31 cleans up, that is within a reasonable grade. Let's see what 31 brings us here. Four minutes. Good work, Bears. Now, the story of the day has been the cocky flipped to insecure Bears. Let's see if they can just stay kind of cocky here. That would be very good for me. 320 out here. Let's find out. All right, halfway through this 5-minute bar. Come on, 31. Do it to him. Let's go. Yeah, and quick heads up here, 80% off single day pass at Apex. That's been going on for a while. That ends here in less than 12 hours. It ends today. So if you don't want to gamble on what's next, stock up. All right, minute 20 here. Come on, Bears. Give it to us. All right, we better head over to the execution screen and see what 31 gives us here. Come on. All right, Bears. You gonna give us our first reasonable setup all day? Let's see. 27 seconds out. Copy trader. Engaged. Now, Bears, I need to see you close it down near the low of the bar. Ideally, well, it must be, for me, beneath the wick low of 30. The no backbone bad news Bears strike again. Absolutely no confidence. No confidence. See these last second adjustments before the close of these 5-minute bars? It's crazy. All right, guys. Hey, again, Apex, 80% off ends today. We don't know what's next. If you want to gamble, have at it. Otherwise, stocking up, I think, is a smart move with code BIG, B-I-G, 40% off, no activation fee at Take Profit Trader with code BIG as well. Weird kind of day today. ATR 44. Interesting. Well, a lot of insecurity on both sides. You know, I imagine the afternoon might clean up a little bit, but let's see here. Listen, tell you guys what. Hey, you want to go deep on RAM? Go join the tomb. We got traders in there already killing it, and I'm not just saying that. That is the truth. People are already in there fucking destroying, making very, very good progress. So, link in the chat. I'll see you guys inside. All right. Same time tomorrow morning. What do you say? I will see you for Pharaoh Friday, where hopefully we'll be giving some free accounts away, and hopefully the price action will have cleaned up by then. All right, guys. Hey, have a good afternoon. Be patient. Be patient. Let the trades come to you. And when they do, no fear. Fucking hit it hard, man. All right. See you in the morning. Have a good afternoon.